So, the last couple of days have been a bit rough, and I'm sorry for the terrible mic quality as always. Fuck. Anyway, this is the. Why can I not see my cursor? This is the first video in a while where it's been a topic that I feel like is slightly opinionated and something I'm slightly passionate about. And in a way, it kind of relates to almost every single video I've made. As a society, I think we need to treat lonely people and people who vent their frustrations better. And the reason why I'm, first of all, not out doing college stuff is just because it hasn't really gone that way yet, which is fine. It's only been like a week. But the reason why I'm not out right now is just because, like I said, these last few days have been kind of rough with having to move room again and then, like, my classes and everything. I've just been kind of worn out. But hopefully it should change soon. Anyway. The way that this relates to my content is when I uploaded the first video that ever got views, which, by the way, I don't know if I've totally mentioned this before, but I consider that a turning point in my channel because before that, I was kind of considering quitting. Because the thing is, like, I didn't care about views or subscribers necessarily, but I wanted my videos to be seen somewhat, and that just wasn't happening at the time. But then after that one video did well, then I'm like, okay, now I'm never going to quit this channel, because some people actually saw what I had to say. Anyway, that video, I expressed that there was one thing that I thought sort of incel believing people were actually not wrong about. It was just the shift in modern society and how everybody is lonely now. Or, not necessarily everybody, but a lot more people. And I don't think what I said there was controversial. I got mostly positive reception, but there were a select few people who were calling me an incel because I made that video and I had that opinion. And just to segue into just the main point, like, I was lucky there that I didn't get just completely shat on for what I said. But other people I've seen, even just on YouTube, who vent their frustrations, they get just an entire shitstorm where they're just told that they're that they're terrible and that it's all their fault. Which it technically is the fault of the person who's lonely, but you should still try to be empathetic. And I think that's just been it's like one thing that I feel like I do have right. Like when people vent to me about being lonely or really just vent about being anything or about anything, I always try to just be as nice as possible because I think that's just the appropriate response. Like whether it's something you agree with or not, clearly someone is upset and you should try to offer kindness. And going back to YouTube, like I said, even though I was given a positive reception, like so many other people will just talk about being lonely, and then they'll get called just like ugly, or they'll get called an incel, and it's like, I feel like that's how you make someone an incel. Just like they open their heart out, they open their heart up about being really lonely and unhappy, and then they get treated horribly. And it's like, it isn't really about the internet because people will just be dicks on the internet, but just in general I think this is kind of just something that happens when people say something personal. They usually just get a really bad response for no reason. It's like something where history repeats itself. And I just think as a society we should be better about that. Like, even if they aren't, like I said, even if you don't agree with it, they're clearly hurting, and we should just try our best to offer kindness. And like I said, it isn't necessarily Like if you're a dick to someone who is venting that they're lonely and then they become a full-on incel, that's not your fault necessarily. But, you know, it probably did contribute to it in a way. Being lonely and expressing that you're lonely, it's like it's seen as the same as just being a piece of shit to a lot of people, it seems. And I also have another example somewhat more recent about that, but it's so recent that I'm not going to say what it is. And that'll make sense later. But actually, no, I don't think I'm ever. Never mind. But I don't know. It's just that's just the main point. When people are lonely, I think they get more shit than they deserve, which is probably very minimal to no shit at all. Even if it's their fault, just try to be nice. That's what I've been trying to do. Like I said, whenever my friends try to say something personal, I just want to respond with being as kind as possible, because not doing so just feels really wrong to me. Yeah, so there are people in the background. This floor is a lot more. Can you go away? It's a lot more loud than the old building. Dude. Oh, what? Okay, I'm gonna like get to safety and then I'm in. I don't know if any of that was even a coherent thought. This is sort of in between like a normal video and a rant kind of video. It's just something that I always think about, but what the fuck is that? Something that I think about a lot. Just being treated badly because you're frustrated and it's like you've had enough, sort of turns people worse in that way. If that makes sense. Anyway, I don't know where I am, but I was already here, so I'm just gonna end it right here at this spot. So goodbye.